You've probably heard of the Orlando Skyplex project before and probably assumed that the whole thing has gotten cancelled at this point. But what if I told you that there is actually a slight chance that this entertainment complex, along with the tallest roller coaster in the world, could still happen? In today's episode of Undercover Coasters, let's take a look at what's on the horizon for the Orlando Skyplex. Before we dive into the logistics of if this project could actually still happen, we need to take a look back at the history of the complex. The whole idea of the Orlando Skyplex with the initial design phase and brainstorming started in 2012, with the official announcement for the project coming in 2015. The projected opening for the Orlando Skyplex was 2017, then it kept getting pushed back a year from 2018 to 2019 and so on due to numerous legal and financial issues. As of now, many believe the Orlando Skyplex has no official opening timeframe and have assumed that this project has been officially cancelled. However, that might not be the case anymore. A little while ago, a small but substantial bit of news got released involving the Lionsgate acquisition of the project. Basically, the movie company Lionsgate Entertainment have bought out the Skyplex project in terms of their IP usage, meaning that the attractions within the complex are all going to revolve around one of Lionsgate's numerous movie franchises such as The Hunger Games, John Wick, Saw, etc. A few pieces of concept art also got released showing some new renderings of what the entertainment complex would look like under the Lionsgate rebrand. Probably the main takeaway from this would be a complete name change to the complex from the Orlando Skyplex to Lionsgate World Resort Orlando. Now, before I dive any further into this topic, just know that everything I say from here on out are considered rumors and speculation. Originally, the Orlando Skyplex would have just had the Polar Coaster, Drop Tower, and a few other small attractions. However, once Lionsgate entered the chat, they decided to take this project into a completely different direction. Instead of just the roller coaster, Lionsgate is now planning on turning this project into a full-scale indoor theme park. Some notable rides could potentially include a Hunger Games Mockingjay flight simulator along with countless immersive VR attractions all themed to IPs such as Escape Plan, Now You See Me, Gods of Egypt, Divergent, and the Twilight Saga. The other Lionsgate theme park in China actually has a Gods of Egypt VR Mac-powered coaster. But enough of all that, let's get to the reason why you all are here. The 570-foot tall Intamin LSM launch polar coaster, Rambo's Revenge. Keep in mind this name is tentative and is subject to change at any time. Based on the leaked name for this coaster, I'm going to assume it will have some light theming surrounding the station and queue line themed to the Rambo franchise, but not too much during the ride's layout. Now, the actual layout for this coaster is definitely unique. I can't really think of any other coaster that starts off with a 570-foot tall vertical launch. Yeah, let that sink in for a sec. A 570-foot tall vertical launch. Anyway, the first inversion on the ride will take riders into a step-up underflip, and then into a 180-degree outer banked turn. Soon after, you'll traverse a 570-foot tall barrel roll, and then into the first of many beyond vertical drops that look over the amazing Orlando skyline. After you get a massive pop of ejector, the coaster will take riders through a large dive loop that will give riders some nice quality hang time, and then into another outer bank that leads into the first mid-course brake run. However, immediately after, you'll fall into the second beyond vertical, this time a twisted drop, and then into an overbanked turn. The train will then take you into a zero-G roll, which actually looks like it'll provide a decent pop of ejector. After you spiral through that inversion, you'll go into another outer bank and then into an additional dive loop. Hopefully you guys are noticing a pattern by now. Anyway, after the dive loop, you'll pop into yet again another outer bank that leads into a mid-course brake run. This mid-course will be the longest one throughout the whole layout. After this, it's yet again a beyond vertical drop, but this time it leads into a cutback, or maybe that's a zero-G stall. Anywho, you'll then pop up into an additional outer bank that again will give riders some crazy ejector airtime, followed by another dive loop that leads into the last outer bank into the third mid-course brake run. Now pause. Here's where it gets interesting. When this coaster was announced back in 2015, its layout actually had it drop down and go away from the tower and over some adjacent buildings. Based on updated concept art from May 2020, this does not seem to be the case anymore. It looks like the ride will just abruptly end after the third drop. Now keep in mind this coaster was originally announced in 2015, that's practically over 5 years ago from today. A lot has changed since then, this time in terms of the train design. Originally, rumors had the ride not being manufactured by Intamin, as the project developer actually stated this.
The coaster itself is built by a company called S&S out of Logan, Utah.
Yeah, S&S was actually supposed to build this thing. However, if we take a look back again at the updated concept art from May 2020, we can see Intamin LSM launch coaster trains, unlike those Gerstlauer 2x4 trains shown back in 2015. This will significantly impact the ride experience. Think of the amount of whip you'll get going through the Beyond Vertical drops, dive loop, and outer banks on this ride while sitting in the back row. Oh, and if you guys don't know, these trains have lap bars, not the bulky over-the-shoulder restraints on rides like the Incredible Hulk coaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure and SheiKra at Busch Gardens Tampa. So it's pretty safe to assume that this ride is going to pull some serious negative G's. However, we're not done just yet. In addition to Lionsgate's dark rides and 570-foot tall polar coaster, the park will also include Skyfall, the world's tallest drop tower, coming in at 520 feet, which is over 100 feet taller than the world's current tallest drop tower, Zumanjaro Drop of Doom at Six Flags Great Adventure. There will actually be 2 drop towers in the tower to help increase capacity. Lionsgate World Resort is also getting Skywalk, which is a 570-foot tall glass platform that lets you see below onto the Orlando skyline. These are actually commonplace at tall tourist destinations, most notably the Grand Canyon Skywalk at 4,000 feet. Lastly, the park will have Sky Plunge, which is basically just a large freefall skydiving experience, kind of like the one at the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. Now let's go back to that projected timeline. With a project this ambitious, it is bound to have delays. These delays can occur based on a number of reasons, whether that be legal issues or just the sheer cost it's going to take to build this thing. For example, the tower alone is set to cost around $53 million. That's more expensive than the price it cost to build Steel Dragon 2000, the longest coaster in the entire world. Now for the polar coaster itself, it will cost approximately $38 million, which is around the same price as Alpengeist and Apollo's Chariot combined. That's a lot of money, so the project developers may have hit some roadblocks over the past few years regarding the financial aspect of this complex. The current rumor has construction now starting this April and finishing in late 2024. Keep in mind these are all rumors and nothing is confirmed by Lionsgate Entertainment themselves. Well, there we have it guys. What do you think of this highly ambitious project? Do you think it'll actually still happen? I think it's got a pretty good chance now, especially since they just updated the plans this past May. Real quick, if you guys enjoyed the Undercover Coasters series, let me know any other coasters you would like to see me cover down in the comments below, and if you guys want to see similar content to what you saw today, be sure to subscribe to the channel with those post notifications on so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys out on the horizon. The theme park horizons.